Welcome, Achim. Welcome, Tom. Without further ado, I will ask both of you to please introduce yourselves, the organization you're from, and let's start with you, Achim, as somebody who has been a regular visitor of the Europe Days. A lot of people know you already, but to those newcomers, who are you?
Thank you very much, Tom. My name is Achim Hartig. I'm working with Germany Trade and Invest. And Germany Trade and Invest is the investment promotion agency of Germany. As the name already tells you, we are dealing with foreign direct investments coming to Germany. What does this have to do with the Europe Days? Well, Germany is interested in establishing corporations and attracting new companies and also offering new platforms and new areas of markets for foreign companies. That's where you come in. I'm participating in the Europe Days for quite a while, and we are inviting Israeli companies to enter the German market, and we are helping them, particularly from all parts, from market analysis to site selection to making connections within the ecosystem, so that their path to the German market is pretty much paved. We are a governmental agency, so this is not a sales pitch here. All our services are free of charge. And to conclude, to give you an estimation about what we do per year, together with our partners, we help about 2,000 companies per year to enter the German market. That creates up to 40,000 jobs in the end in Germany, and goes up to several hundreds of millions of euros on contribution to the economy. So there's a huge leverage, and probably you know the German market already a little bit. If there are questions or next steps to be done, I'm happy to talk to you.
So you are actually looking at companies not only from Israel, but from all over the world who are getting investors and who want to settle themselves in Germany, and then you help them find regionally the right place where to go to, right?
That's correct. We have a special with us today, and the special is called Digital Hubs. The digital hubs are certain areas, 12 areas in Germany where startups can work together with Mittelstand companies, so small and medium-sized enterprises in Germany. And as you know, these SMEs in Germany, they are known to be a little bit dusty, maybe not too open to digitalization, but they have a very high quality on processes and a very high quality on the end products. So here comes, let's say, the deal for these companies to say, look, we want to work together with innovative startups from all over the world. We have a spillover effect on the startups, on you, with in terms of how we work in Germany and how we maintain the high quality. And the spillover from you startups is about how digitalization actually can happen and how, for example, agile organization can be implemented in not only a digital company, but also in hybrid companies where digitalization comes to production, for example, or to research and development. So these digital hubs are an attractive offer of the German government to have a cooperation platform between Mittelstand, between small and medium-sized enterprises, research institutions, and startups from foreign countries.
Amazing. And if I know correctly, those digital hubs are regionally diverted throughout all Germany, and also they have each of them is looking at a different vertical. So according to which industry you're looking at, that's the digital hub you should look at, right?
That's correct. That's correct. So, for example, we have a media hub in Berlin, of course, Introtech in Munich, and in Cologne. We have logistics in Dortmund and Hamburg. We have security, probably particularly interesting for Israeli startups in Karlsruhe, Darmstadt. We have FinTech, Frankfurt, Berlin, and others. So we have, let's say, for every vertical, as you say, there's a dot to connect, and we are there to help you connect the dots.
We will, in a few seconds, also share on chat the website of the Digital Hubs for our listeners. And in the meanwhile, from the meta level, we're going to a lower resolution, which doesn't make it a less resolution, but a more clearer resolution. And we're going to you, dear Tom, because you are looking at a certain region. Please tell us about yourself and what region we are talking about.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, my name is Tom Willinger. I'm head and CEO of the family office, so private investment company of a huge reseller in Europe. We're especially invested since 15 years in startup companies within Germany, also Europe, then coming up the last 5 years in Israel and also in Asia. So we're a family office investing in pre-seed investments in startup companies, like in biotech, in healthcare, in pharma industries, and further on in auto industries, in IoT industries, so Industry 4.0, and also everything related to autonomous driving and so forth. So we have a wide area, invested in 35 companies the last 15 years, sold them out, some of them, but we have a long haul focus on these companies. And that's the difference between family offices and I think also venture capital companies. So we start with a smaller amount to get companies driven well with the Mittelstand companies, so to get acquainted to the market sections. And for your question, Charm, we are located in Heilbronn. I think Heilbronn is not so. Some of you are not so familiar with the area. Heilbronn is next to Stuttgart in the north, but it's a huge area with industry. We have up to 70,000 companies in our area in Baden-Württemberg, around in the area of Stuttgart. You know, certainly Stuttgart, with regard of Porsche, with IBM, with Daimler for sure, maybe also Word Group or SAP in Heidelberg. So we have a huge density of big companies. They all started with Mittelstand, with the access from the family coming and try to get these family companies driven hardly. And I think the people in Baden-Württemberg, they are very strong. They are very focused on industry, and they love to get in contact with startup out of Europe, especially in Israel. Thank you.
And also, you are not a newcomer to Israel. You've been here already, have quite a lot of contact, and we are waiting for the day that we can meet two of you again. And it seems to come, we all believe. But let's ask you, your definition on what is the middle actually that we're all talking about. The criteria we should have to.
Oh, Sham, I'm so sorry. I can't get your question. Maybe you can repeat it?
Yes. You can give a definition of the Mittelstand we are all talking about. What are German champions and Mittelstand companies actually?
Achim, it's you. Sorry, because the voice was distorted. Sure. What is the German Mittelstand? Well, the German Mittelstand is something which is pretty which is pretty old, and this has two sides. Number one, it has a lot of experiences. Number two, it shows a lot of resilience. So there are a number of companies in Germany that are about 400, 500 years old when we're talking about the Mittelstand, and these companies, they have been family-driven for most of their time, and maybe still are family-driven. And throughout these hundreds of years, they've overcome crises like wars, like devaluation. They have come over crises like viruses, pandemics, all sorts of stuff. And they still are there, and they still are successful. And many of them are world market leaders. These companies have shown that in their DNA, it's the ability to adapt to new markets and the ability to outperform other competitors. And this is one of the critical economical backbones as well, which we have in Germany. And if I talk about the Mittelstand, of course, not the majority of all Mittelstand companies are 300 or 400 years old, but a significant two-digit amount of companies are. And when we ask ourselves, okay, how many Mittelstand companies do we have in Germany? If you count everything, it's about more than 3 million. But if you count those who might be relevant as partners, let's say with the size about 50 employees, something like this, we're still talking about several hundreds of thousands of companies in Germany, which are spread across a variety of industries and which are ready to cooperate. Many of them, and they are located all over Germany and in all different industries. So the huge difference, if you look at it like that, huge difference to other countries. In Germany, there is this ecosystem of the Mittelstand. In Germany, it has been proven across a long time to be a successful ecosystem and to outperform with quality other industries and also other countries. And we were only able to achieve this by cooperation, in fact. So by letting new ideas in and also letting ideas out, because only with the mutual exchange of experiences and technologies, for example, it's possible to establish long-lasting mutual relationships, not only politically but also economically. So that's in short what the German Mittelstand is about: a huge ecosystem, high quality, and lots of options, market-wise and corporation-wise.
Actually, I think we can say that a lot of those Mittelstands were startups themselves many years ago. Startups which managed to stay in family hands.
That's correct.
Tom, my dear, the million-dollar question in this panel is: how do we get to those that Achim just described? To have their hearts, but even more their pockets? How do we get access?
I think it's more easy than you think about. As Achim mentioned, the Mittelstand companies, the family-owned companies, maybe 100 employees, maybe 500 employees, maybe 1,000 or even 10,000. They are open-minded to technology-driven startup companies, as Achim mentioned. So they are totally open-minded to get their hardware-driven company, mid-sized company, more digital. Means they love to get an access to you, to get access to new ideas, to new technologies, to get these ideas acquainted to the hard processings within the companies, and also the possibility to have a huge future together. They are open-minded. They are not forcing startup companies. They love to get in touch with startup companies also out of Europe, to learn from them and to get them a possibility to make projects run together. And that's a huge possibility, maybe through our Zukunft Fund, our family office, that we can show up the possibility to join projects and to join further products together. And they love to get in touch with Israel companies to get them to get the hardware-driven products in the later times, to get them more digital and to get a relationship to the future in a joint business together.
Sounds amazing. Thank you. Achim, what do you think? Do you have some special for us, some special magic we need to do in order to approach Mittelstand in Germany?
Well, certainly, I wouldn't limit this to Mittelstand, but our experience, not only with companies from Israel, but from all over the world, is that I'm sitting here and I'm promoting the German ecosystem. I say, look, come to Germany and work. But in our experience, it's our job not to stop there. What is important, the secret potion, is not only for us to invite you. So once you're in Germany, you say, look, now I'm in Germany, and what can I do now? But also to connect you and to show you how the culture works, to show you how business relationships, in fact, are established. This is the secret potion where many companies fail, but with guidance and with support, this German mentality, maybe German bureaucracy, can be easily overcome and cannot be a threshold anymore. But on the contrary, once the road is paved and we can help with this, it's easy to enter the German market.
Thank you. Tom, What are the largest sectors in Baden-Württemberg? You already mentioned it a little bit in your answer before, but maybe go a little bit more into detail. What is the exact Mittelstand looking like in Baden-Württemberg? What are the most and the strongest industries?
Yeah, for sure, Sean, thank you. The biggest industry, the overall industry, international, is for sure it's auto industry. Automotive is the driving industry is for sure the part in Europe with the biggest density, also the part of the medium-sized companies or the global players. Achim mentioned them a few seconds ago. So we have in these areas roughly 1 million vehicle produced. So they need certainly all access to digital autonomous driving, hybrid engines, also electric engines, water fuel cells, and so forth. In these areas, 400,000 employees working in. That's one of the biggest area in Baden-Württemberg, so auto industry. Secondly, we have mechanical engineering with roughly 10,000 companies and 330,000 employees. Third is biotech and so life science. Nobody knows, but Baden-Württemberg has, next to Bavaria, the biggest density of life-size companies with biotech, medical, and pharmaceuticals. And third, we have aerospace and environmental technologies. So overall, we have a huge Mittelstand, mostly Mittelstand companies, and they love to get in touch with startups out of Israel. And we love to handle you and handle your projects or your ideas together with the Mittelstand companies. They are totally focused. Maybe they are slightly shy to get in touch with all Israeli guys. And therefore, I think Achim can help. Maybe we can help also with private investments or private supporting.
Thank you very much. And we have a question to you on that, Tom, referring to what you just said. How about retail? Is that also something you can find in your area?
Yeah, for sure. Retail in our area, we are coming. We are a family office of a huge retail partner, the biggest retail chain in Europe. We are investing in retail, certainly related to retail. It means Schwarz Group, Lidl, Kaufland. And we can easily get access to these guys if you have some questions or if you have some ideas to support them or to get them in touch and want to get in a collaboration with these guys. Further on, the industry I mentioned means auto industry or medical devices and so forth. So we have tons of startup companies coming to us and try to get in touch, and I think we help them all to have a positive future altogether. Think about that. The mid-sized companies need you. They need you as you need them, maybe for the first access to the market. But the other way around, they also need you.
Yes, and Achim will add to that Baden-Württemberg is not the only region. You have a lot of potential in Germany, and starting in one region, of course, only opens the German market. And there are other centers also for retail, like Cologne, which I believe you will have a session afterwards. However, thank you for your question, Asaf. And Guy Varon asking how to get in touch with you, Tom. I gave our contact details, and I promise we will refer them to you. In the meanwhile, Achim, I'm sorry, can you maybe, what do you think? Because this is the question we always get in the chamber. The Israeli startups say we want to enter the German market, and we tell them it's very difficult to do it remotely. Get a local presence, whether it's a sales agent or an entity. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I understand the difficulty in this decision because Once you do not know the market, how do you want to say, look, I'm spending some money and I put a local agent there, or I'm opening up an office there? So it's always the question, how can I make a sound decision about should I invest something and how promising is my investment in the end when I want to enter a new market? And to our experience, the answer to this question is information. And okay, look, now you sit down and information. Should I read thousands of market analysis? No, you shouldn't, or you don't need to. That's where we come in. We, of course, as I said, our job is to attract companies, but we do not attract companies for whom it doesn't make any sense. So we provide neutral information about the German market, about your market segment, about cooperation, about options you can have there, about this vast system of associations which you can leverage to get contacts in the German market. We provide this information and we help you to get through this information. So in the end, you say, look, okay, I got it, I understood it. Maybe it makes sense to have a small office over there to explore the market further. General charm, I agree, I absolutely agree, and it's a huge yes. You need an office in Germany because it's a huge market. You cannot do this remotely. You need to establish trust on the one hand, and you need to have a local presence because you just have to travel around once it's possible again, and you need to travel around and to make personal contacts again. That's a classic approach, and German industries value this to gain you as a partner. So we inform to help you reduce the complexity of your decision, but in the end, once it makes sense for you, it's a huge yes. You have to have a presence, and we help you establishing that.
Our time is up, but we cannot end this panel without also hearing Tom's view on that. What do you think, Tom, regarding local presence, and then what should it look like?
I recommend that the companies out of Israel start with a small office, maybe with a sales rep. Maybe we can help them to establish that, or to get acquainted to the Baden-Württemberg area. So it's only one part of Germany, but I only can repeat what Achim mentioned very carefully, and we can help both from the governmental side, as Achim will do, and from our private side, as Zukunftsfund maybe can offer to you. Means a small entity, a small office. You need maybe a sales rep who can also speak German. They're not so fluently in English. So maybe also on the ground, it makes sense that you have a part-time or a full-time sales guy, or also a field engineer, to get also in contact with the startup with a mid-sized company. So we can help with that, also to get in an entity in our area, in Stuttgart area, Heilbronn area, to start immediately and very quick to get access to your market.
Lovely. Thank you so much to both. The websites were uploaded on the chat, so the digital hubs can be seen there and the different areas. The website of the Zukunftsfonds Heilbronn can be seen there, and your individual VCs that you have established. Please contact us. We're looking forward to be here for you, to help you. And I wish you a very good event. And thank you to Gilly Zegler for the Europe Days. Bye to everyone.
Thank you, Tom.